This is the face of a human, equal in all ways to all other humans and a blessing to any multicultural society. This is also the face of a human, equal in all ways to other humans and a blessing to any multicultural society. Him too, her too, him too, her too, and a completely beautiful human equal to all others, with no difference and a blessing to any multicultural society. And this is the face of the plague that has befallen humanity, the white racist. But wait, how can this be? Well, of course, the fact that the photo of the man in question is a Caucasian, and without the victim status of homosexuality to ward off his evil nature, he is racist by default. We all know this, society accepts it, and promotes this. The hierarchy of victimhood, and according to this most Hydra-like mental exercise, he and his kind are behind all of the suffering on planet Earth, and the rest of humanity is but his plaything, devoid of agency and existing only to be oppressed and marginalized by his evil constructs of racism, homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia, sexism, microaggressions, the patriarchy, the everyarchy, the everyism, and phobia that has ever existed. They are all his fault. This is his nature. His nature is evil, and once diversity has wiped his kind out across the face of the earth, the world can take a sigh of relief and begin to live over the rainbow in the multicultural utopia that will be free of hate and division, where all the world's people, minus him and his kind, will live in peace and harmony. But, of course, we have heard endlessly that race is a construct. Like gender, it isn't real, and therefore cannot even be considered. And those that judge a person by the way they look are not only ignorant and uneducated, but evil and racist. But remember, racism is power plus prejudice. Therefore, whites and only whites can be racist. Having said that, though, races, as we know, aren't real. They're but a social construct, and to believe otherwise is not only a social taboo, but can destroy your life for being an accessory to thought crime. That is, if you are a Caucasian. This is James Watson. He's a Nobel-winning scientist who co-discovered the double helix of DNA and had his life destroyed for having uttered racist sentiments. Well, what actually did he say? He said, there is no firm reason to anticipate that the intellectual capacities of people geographically separated in their evolution should prove to have evolved identically. Our wanting to reserve equal powers of reason as some universal heritage of humanity will not be enough to make it so. And because of this, he was destroyed. This is Jamie Foxx. He's a Hollywood entertainer who is applauded for uttering racist and violent sentiments.
Django Unchained, I play a slave. How black is that? And in the movie, I have to wear chains. How whack is that? But don't be worried about it, because I get out the chains, I get free, I save my wife, and I kill all the white people in the movie. How great is that?
Again, the equation is power plus prejudice equals racism. Obviously, Watson is a racist. Fox is not. It's taken for granted that you can't tell the intelligence of a person by their face or race. You can't tell their criminal predilections or their ability for empathy. You can't tell their hopes, desires, fears, or dreams. But when looking at white men, science now tells us you can know one thing, and it is one of the most important things you can ever know, and that is the white man open about his racism, or is he just good at hiding it? Science now has the answers social justice warriors have been looking for decades. How to use the face of a white man to decide what his inner feelings are, and most importantly, if he's racist. According to them, racism is everywhere. but now hides itself in the ether of microaggressions and is becoming more and more difficult to detect. No longer will social justice warriors need to lurk in the shadows and in the hallways or stalk men on Facebook to prove what a white man's beliefs are. As a new study suggests, we can look at his face and know whether he has a willingness to express racist beliefs. And it turns out it's all about testosterone. Recent research indicates that men with high levels of testosterone have certain facial characteristics that set them apart from men with less testosterone. In particular, they have what researchers call a higher facial width to height ratio, which compares the distance between cheekbones to the distance between the upper lip and mid-brow. Men with a higher ratio have faces that appear a bit wider horizontally and a bit more compressed vertically. According to the research, this is a beta provider who is too cowardly to express his true opinions. And this is the real deal. This is evil incarnate. This is a white racist. There's an obvious irony to a study that says we can tell if a man will act bigoted based on the shape of his face. But the logic, they say, underpinning the study, conducted by researchers at the University of Delaware and published in the Journal of Psychological Science, comes from an unexpected source. Men with greater width to height ratios, the study found, had a greater urge to be socially dominant and cared less what others thought of them. In the world today, rightly and of course, society says it's bad to openly express racist opinions. So the Delaware researchers, led by psychology social scientist Eric Heyman, wondered if men with higher face-to-width height ratio might feel more comfortable expressing explicitly racist opinions because their high testosterone made them feel less socially inhibited. After gathering and testing 70 white males, researchers found that, relative to the others, they did. But low testosterone, long-faced white men watching out there, don't worry, you're racist too. As the other conclusion drawn is that men don't have to be testosterone charged to be racist. Implicit racism, Heyman noted, is just another kind of racism with its own subtle effects. He continued, an implicitly biased person might just pay less attention to Obama when he's making a political argument or give less credence to what Obama says without even knowing he or she is doing so, and ultimately be less likely to vote for Obama. They might do this, and this is my favorite part, they might do this, he continued, without making any explicitly racist decisions or even being aware of such effects. As Heyman emphasized, this is really a study about willingness to express racist views, not the views themselves. Still, there's a deterministic quality to the research that, like earlier research linking facial structure to criminality or Mormonism, suggests a certain inevitability. Heyman doesn't shy away from the implications, however. Ultimately, I think the practical applications of this study is for people to learn when to trust their instincts regarding others' personalities and when in situations to doubt their instincts, as they are more likely to be incorrect in other situations. It does seem strange that a person could have a genetically determined biological response to a person of another race when, as we've been told for decades by social scientists, that race does not exist. Regardless of the fact that empirical science says it does, society only acknowledges social science that fits the politically correct narrative. To hell with science when it disagrees with our feelings and emotions. I think the paradox and problems of this study are not problematic for those that seek social justice at the expense of truth. Gender is a construct. Sexuality is a construct. Race is a construct. Religion, if it is Islam, however, is not a construct. But when it comes to white men, testosterone or no testosterone, they're all racist, and it's just a matter of whether they exhibit their true feelings. It's good to know that even though social science says that race does not exist, social science has now shown us that many white men have a biological predisposition to be racist and show it. And also, social science has shown us that those that don't have this predisposition because of a lack of testosterone, well, they're still racist too. They're just better at hiding it. And remember, these social science studies are all about building a more inclusive society by making sure that no matter what, white people, and especially white males, understand that they are the source of all of the ills in the societies they built, created, and sustain. What an age to be alive in the West. If this kind of material resonates with you, please click like, and even better, if you'd like to see more of this kind of material, please click the subscribe button.